Okay, so let's adjust our landings, right? We have in our ramp that it's 4 foot right now. So let's say that this landing, we want to make it 5 foot. Let's measure it and see how big the landing is right now. So the landing is 4'4" in that direction, and it is, whoops, um, approximately 3 feet in this direction. So that's not good for us right now. We need to do some adjusting. How would we adjust it? Well, let's keep in mind that much like stairs, ramps need risers. And if you look here, 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 and here, we have what? We have risers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select all of this right now, and I'm going to move this all the way back here, and then I'm going to move it up against the wall. Now the ramp is going to be built a little more independently, but in this particular instance, right now we're okay where we've actually located it. I am going to select now this portion of it, and I'm going to move this portion from here to here. Now you see how it pushes that back some? It pushes it back because if I measure this distance here, which is 2'11", let's just call it 3 foot, I want to add to this portion of the ramp right here because I want this riser to kind of come as close to that as I can. I'm going to pause the video so we can discuss. Okay, so let's get it positioned. I'm going to move this, right? Or I'm going to basically say, I'm going to use an annotation line, or even I could use a dimension, but I'll go to the annotate tab, and I'll say that I want to move, right, this portion of the ramp 3 feet. And I'm going to put in 3 space 0. Oh, sorry. That's not right. Let's try that one more time. Move. I'm going to get it right this time. 3 space 0. Okay. So that made that, what, too large. But now I know I can move this to here. And now I can do what? I can come up here to annotate. I can put a dimension on this landing and say I want this landing to be what? To be 5 foot. All right. So that will pull that back. And then I can delete that if I want. Then down here, I want to do the same thing. I want to say I want to, in this particular instance, I'm just going to draw a line for myself that's 5 feet long, right? And then I'm simply going to move this portion of my ramp to here, right? Let's go back. Let me try that one more time. Instead, I'm going to draw a boundary line. I didn't draw my boundary line properly. I'll draw it from here to there and from here to there. Then I can delete that, right? And then now I can say delete this line and then trim this line. And then I need to do what? I need to move this riser because that's a riser line. All right. Now with all that there, let's see what happens if I come back and I actually do what? If I hit, well, let's see what happens if I hit the check mark. Revit's telling us the ramp isn't long enough to reach the top constraint. Let's go back, okay? Let me undo that for a moment. Look at this line right here. That's a sketch run. I need to adjust that, right? So if I pull this back to here, right? Look what happens to my landing. My landing gets small again. So I need that to be what? I said I needed to be 5 foot. So I'm going to put another dimension on here. And I want that to be 5 foot. All right. Now, before we do anything else, I want to pause the video and explain something. Okay, so taking this dimension out, I realize this landing's too big now. I moved my ramp against that landing that's here, and now I have to move these risers back that 5 feet. So I'm going to say move from this point, and I'm going to go 5 space 0. And now right? If I click that, now my ramp is acceptable to Revit. And if I go to my 3D view, I kind of see how I've got this ramp drawn in here. Now, one of the other things that you'll notice about ramps, when I click on this and I go to edit type, if I go down, there's some construction things that are noticeable here about the ramp. Like, for instance, the shape. Look where it says thick. What does it mean by thick? Well, if I go to my south elevation, notice my ramp is showing to some thickness there, right? And it's 3 inches. But what if I came up here and changed this option and said make this solid and hit apply? Now my ramp is more of a what? It's more of a monolithic ramp, like they poured the concrete like in situ and poured it all the way up till it met the landing. Okay? So you can have that option. Now every ramp is not going to be that thick. Some might, because of some local requirement. But in other instances, you might be building this ramp out of wood. If you were building it at a house, you wouldn't build it out of concrete at a house. And plenty of people have ramps that go to their front doors that are in wheelchairs. In other instances, they will build these out of steel, right? That will have a kind of a composite surface. But think about why you maybe wouldn't want wood. Wood could get slippery in wet weather, right? So what you build a ramp out of is very important. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is let you all kind of get caught up in these first 2 videos and draw your ramp similar to what I have right here right now, and then we're going to look at some other properties of the ramp. One more property that I do want you to see before we go to the next video. If I go to edit type, notice down here I can change the materials, right? And then I can also do what? I can look at the maximum incline length, which is why it limited me in the first place, 2'6". That's a default, right? Then here's my max slope, 12, right? 1 in 12 is my max slope. So I could change the slope here to 1 in 6 if I wanted to, if I didn't need that ramp to be so what? To go to that landing. I could change the slope and make the ramp what? If I change the slope, it's obviously going to make that ramp longer. So I could weave around if I needed 3 landings for some reason. I could change the slope here and change that. And that's something that we'll play with as well. Okay? So let's go ahead and pause and I'll let you all get started. The last thing I need to do here is I need to go ahead and save as, right? Save this project, my bad habit, please forgive me, under my own folder, right? I need to save this under my initials. Please, you be better than me and do this first, okay? And we'll go ahead and stop the video.